What if I told you the next 30 seconds of your morning could dictate the next 30 years of your life? That the difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck isn't talent, luck, or even hard work. It's the words they repeat to themselves every single day. Right now, somewhere in the world, a CEO is speaking these words before her biggest meeting. A champion athlete is roaring them in the mirror before the game. A single mom is whispering them to herself before her third job of the day. And you're about to learn them. By the time we're done, these 10 lines won't just be words. They'll be your new reality. Let's begin. The most powerful force in your life isn't your circumstances, your education, or even your skills. It's the words you whisper to yourself every single day. Those quiet conversations you have in your mind. They're not just passing thoughts. They're the architects of your destiny, silently constructing the person you're becoming. Every I can't, every I'm not good enough, every I'll never isn't just a statement. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy being etched into your nervous system. But here's the life-altering truth. When you change your words, you don't just change your thinking, you change your very identity. Neuroscience reveals that language doesn't just describe reality, it creates it. A groundbreaking study at Harvard showed that when subjects simply replaced I can't with I don't, their success rates in breaking bad habits skyrocketed by 300%. Why? Because I can't implies restriction and deprivation, while I don't establishes identity and power. Your brain believes what you tell it, literally rewiring itself based on the language you use. MRI scans prove that positive self-talk lights up your prefrontal cortex like a Christmas tree, activating problem solving and emotional regulation, while negative talk triggers your amygdala's fight or flight response. You're not just speaking words, you're programming your biological supercomputer. Consider the transformation of Muhammad Ali. Before he was the greatest, he was Cassius Clay, a talented but unproven boxer. But listen to how he spoke about himself. I am the greatest. I'm young, I'm handsome, I'm fast. I can't possibly be beat. Critics called it arrogance, but Ali understood something profound. He wasn't boasting, he was building. By consistently declaring his greatness, he wasn't just convincing the world, he was convincing himself. Those words became the scaffolding upon which he constructed a legendary career. When he said, I am the greatest, his nervous system heard a command and responded accordingly. That's why after suffering a brutal defeat to Joe Frazier, he didn't crumble. His identity-defining language gave him the resilience to come back stronger. Tony Robbins teaches that where focus goes, energy flows, but we must add, where words go, identity grows. Look at how children learn. They become what they're told. Tell a child they're clumsy often enough, and they'll trip over their own feet. Tell them they're brilliant, and they'll rise to meet that expectation. This doesn't magically stop at adulthood. Your inner child is still listening to every word you say about yourself. When you declare, I'm terrible with money, your subconscious obediently makes it true. When you affirm, I'm a quick learner, your brain finds ways to prove you right. The most successful people in history have harnessed this power. Oprah Winfrey's morning mantra, I am a woman of power, a woman of influence. Elon Musk's relentless repetition, the future needs us to become a multi-planetary species. These aren't just affirmations, they're identity blueprints. Research shows it takes about 21 days of consistent language repetition to rewrite a core belief. That means 3 weeks of consciously shaping your words could literally redefine who you are. Here's your challenge. For the next 24 hours, become hyper-aware of your language. Every time you catch yourself saying, I have to, replace it with, I get to. Transform this is impossible into, this will require my best. Shift from, I'm stressed to, I'm being stretched. These subtle changes create massive neurological shifts. Remember, you're not describing yourself, you're designing yourself. Your words are the chisel and your life is the marble. What masterpiece will you carve? The ancient proverb was right. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Not just your spoken tongue to others, but that quiet, constant voice speaking to you. That voice is either your prison guard or your liberator. Today, right now, you get to choose. Will your words cage you or crown you? The decision is yours, but choose wisely. Your identity is listening. For decades, self-help gurus have preached fake it till you make it as gospel truth. But I'm here to expose the dangerous flaw in this philosophy. Because faking it doesn't make you authentic, it makes you exhausted. The real secret? Don't fake it, focus. Your brain isn't fooled by empty posturing but it will respond explosively when you give it targeted, embodied action. This isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about activating the highest version of who you already are. Neuroscience reveals why traditional faking fails. Your basal ganglia, the brain's pattern recognition center, constantly compares your actions with your core identity. When there's mismatch, when you're faking, it triggers stress responses that sabotage your efforts. But when you take authentic actions aligned with your aspirational self, something magical happens. A 2021 Yale study showed that subjects who performed just 5 minutes of behavior matching their desired identity showed 300% more persistence in pursuing goals than those using traditional fake-it techniques. Your nervous system doesn't respond to lies, but it leaps at truth in action. Consider the transformation of Ed Sheeran. As a struggling teen, he didn't pretend to be a superstar. He performed like one, playing 300 plus gigs a year in tiny venues. Each show wasn't fakery, it was his future self in embryonic form. Contrast this with countless fake-it entrepreneurs who lease Lamborghinis for Instagram while their businesses crumble. One approach builds genuine competence, the other builds unsustainable debt. The difference? Sharon wasn't pretending. He was practicing his destiny into existence through micro doses of authentic behavior. Tony Robbins teaches that repetition is the mother of skill, but we must add, authentic repetition is the mother of transformation. When you focus on small, believable actions that stretch but don't rupture your self-concept, you trigger what psychologists call identity-based habit formation. Instead of saying, I'm a competent speaker while trembling backstage, which your brain rejects, say, I'm someone who speaks up in meetings today. And do just that. These nano wins accumulate into unshakable confidence because they're rooted in truth, not theater. The military has used this principle for centuries. Navy SEAL candidates aren't told to fake being tough. They're given gradual, authentic challenges that make toughness in each completed challenge rewires their identity at a cellular level. This is why elite performers across fields use what I call the 5% truth method, taking actions just 5% beyond their comfort zone. A writer doesn't pretend to be Shakespeare. They commit to writing 200 genuine words daily. A salesperson doesn't fake confidence. They make one more real call than yesterday. Here's your breakthrough formula. Identify one small, authentic action your future self would take. Perform it consistently until it feels natural. Level up only when the action becomes unconscious. This isn't faking, it's focused becoming. Your body knows the difference between performance and presence. Your future self isn't a costume to wear, it's a muscle to develop. Stop pretending, start practicing. The results will shock you. The Millionaire's Morning Secret, why most people never get rich. The first 90 minutes of your day determine your financial destiny. While 97% of people hit the snooze button and stumble into their mornings half asleep, self-made millionaires weaponize the early hours with ruthless precision. This isn't about waking up at 4 a.m. It's about what you do with those sacred morning moments that separates the wealthy from the stuck. Your morning routine is either compounding small advantages into massive success or quietly sabotaging your financial future every single day. Neuroscience reveals why mornings matter most. Your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, operates at peak capacity for 2.5 hours after waking. Millionaires don't waste this mental clarity scrolling social media or watching news designed to trigger stress responses. They attack high-value activities requiring maximum cognitive function. A 5-year study tracking 177 self-made millionaires found 92% devoted their first hour to 3 non-negotiable practices. 1, movement that elevates heart rate. 2, deep learning, not shallow consumption. 3, strategic planning of their top money-making activity. This holy trinity creates a neurological success cascade that pays compound interest over decades. Consider Tim Cook, Apple's CEO, who starts his day at 3:45 a.m., reviewing global sales data before hitting the gym. Or Oprah Winfrey, who dedicates her first hour to meditation and study. These aren't eccentric habits, they're calculated wealth-building strategies. Your morning routine is either making you money or costing you money. There's no neutral. The average person checks their phone within 7 minutes of waking, immediately surrendering their mental edge to other people's agendas. Millionaires protect their morning focus like Fort Knox because they understand whoever controls your attention controls your financial future. The Millionaire Morning Matrix follows 4 pillars proven to rewire your brain for wealth creation. First, movement that crosses the aerobic threshold. Studies show just 20 minutes boosts cognitive function by 15% for 10 plus hours. Second, consumption of specialized knowledge. The average millionaire reads 2+ books monthly, while most people haven't finished one in years. Third, revenue-generating activity before noon. Your brain solves problems 23% faster in the morning. Fourth, gratitude practice, linked to better risk assessment by MIT researchers. This isn't rocket science. It's neurochemical alchemy that transforms potential into profit. Tony Robbins teaches that success leaves clues, and the morning routine is the master clue. Look at any wealth creator, from Warren Buffett to Sarah Blakely, and you'll find obsessive morning rituals. The magic happens in the compound effect. Reading 30 pages daily gives you 36 books yearly. Exercising 20 minutes daily adds 121 hours of elevated cognition annually. Planning your top revenue activity first creates 260 plus high-focus sessions yearly. These marginal gains separate the rich from the stuck. Here's your $1 million morning challenge. For the next 21 days, implement the 60/30 rule. 60 minutes of wealth-building activities before 30 minutes of consumption. Move with intensity for 20 minutes. Spend 20 minutes consuming knowledge that directly impacts your earning ability. Devote 20 minutes to advancing your one income-producing activity. This simple formula will shock your system into financial productivity. The wealthiest don't have more time, they have better rituals. Your bank account doesn't care about your excuses, it responds to your habits. The question isn't whether you can afford to master your mornings, it's whether you can afford not to. Your financial future is being decided right now, not in some distant tomorrow, but in the choices you make tomorrow morning. Confidence isn't a personality trait, it's a physiological state you can trigger at will. While most people wait for confidence to magically appear before taking action, high performers know the secret. Action creates confidence, not the other way around. Your body has an actual biological confidence switch that floods your system with unstoppable certainty, and you're about to learn how to flip it in seconds. Harvard research reveals confidence is primarily governed by 3 neurochemicals: testosterone, dominance; dopamine, reward anticipation; and oxytocin, social connection. The moment you intentionally alter your physiology to produce this cocktail, you become psychologically bulletproof. Amy Cuddy's famous power pose study proved just 2 minutes of expansive posture increases testosterone by 20% and decreases cortisol, the stress hormone, by 25%. But here's what she didn't tell you. The real magic happens when you combine this with what Navy SEALs call success anchoring, linking peak physiological states through specific triggers through emotional repetition. Consider how Serena Williams prepares for championship points. Watch closely. She doesn't just take deep breaths. She rolls her shoulders back, plants her feet like roots into the earth, and stares down her opponent with what psychologists call the victory gaze. This isn't superstition, it's science. By consistently pairing this physiological sequence with winning moments, she's conditioned her nervous system to enter championship mode on command. You can create the same instant confidence trigger through what I call the 3-point power reset. 1, stand like a superhero, chest wide, hands on hips for 30 seconds. 2, take 3 slow breaths through your nose while recalling your greatest victory. 3, make 2 fists and whisper, "Now!" as you release them. Repeat this sequence 5 times daily for 2 weeks and you'll wire unshakable confidence into your nervous system. Tony Robbins teaches that emotion is created by motion, but we must go deeper. Confidence isn't just about body language, it's about identity reinforcement. When you combine power physiology with what cognitive scientists call self-concept priming, you create an unstoppable confidence loop. Before important meetings or events, spend 90 seconds visualizing past successes while maintaining power posture. Your brain literally cannot distinguish between vividly imagined success and real experience. This double binds your neurology toward confidence. The military's most elite units use a classified version of this technique called battle mind priming. Before missions, operatives don't just check gear, they perform specific movements that trigger trained confident states. One declassified SEAL exercise involves pressing the tongue to the roof of the mouth while squeezing the left thumb, a move that instantly activates the prefrontal cortex and dampens fear response. While you don't need combat level conditioning, you can create your own confidence triggers through what I call success snaps. Simple physical actions like snapping fingers repeatedly performed during confident moments that later recall those states. Here's your field-tested confidence protocol. For the next 14 days, perform the 3-point power reset first thing each morning. Before any confidence-demanding situation, activate your personalized success snap while visualizing 3 past victories. The cumulative effect will shock you. Within weeks, you'll develop what psychologists call confidence onset latency, the ability to summon certainty faster than most people can process doubt. Remember, confidence isn't something you have, it's something you do. The switch exists. Your hand is on it. Flip it. Now, bad days don't exist. Only bad perspectives that we choose to indulge. While most people let circumstances dictate their emotional state, elite performers understand this fundamental truth. Your experience of life isn't determined by what happens to you, but by what you do with what happens. Viktor Frankl survived Auschwitz by discovering that between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. This isn't positive thinking, it's precision thinking that transforms breakdowns into breakthroughs. Neuroscience reveals that what we call bad days are actually just neural patterns of learned helplessness. When you repeatedly tell yourself this is a bad day, you strengthen the brain's negativity bias, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. But research from the University of Pennsylvania shows we can short-circuit this pattern through selective focus. Their study found that people who practiced identifying just 3 meaningful moments each day, no matter how small, rewired their brains to default to resilience in 21 days. Navy SEALs use a similar technique called tactical compartmentalization, training their minds to focus only on what they can control in the present moment, which is why they perform brilliantly in situations others would call catastrophes. Consider how Starbucks founder Howard Schultz handled perhaps the worst day of his business life. On July 4, 2008, he had to close 600 stores and lay off 12,000 employees. While most would crumble, Schultz framed it as the transformational day we became a different company. Within 5 years, Starbucks stock increased 1,200%. This is the hallmark of the no more bad days mindset, the ability to extract gold from garbage. Tony Robbins puts it bluntly, there are no bad days, only days that reveal where we need to grow. Every so-called bad day contains the exact nutrients your success requires if you have the courage to digest them. The No More Bad Days protocol has 3 battle-tested steps. First, the 5A second reframe. When adversity strikes, immediately ask, what's the opportunity here? Studies show this simple question activates problem-solving regions of the brain. Second, emotional alchemy. Physically change your state through movement, music, or breathing rather than collapse. Third, progress hunting. Identify 3 micro wins you've achieved despite the challenges, proving to your nervous system that forward motion never stops. Winston Churchill demonstrated this mindset during the Blitz, when London was bombed for 57 consecutive nights. Rather than despairing, he declared, "We are the masters of our fate," and used the crisis to forge national unity. Similarly, when Southwest Airlines had to ground their entire fleet in 2021, CEO Gary Kelly didn't panic. He told employees, this is our chance to reinvent and emerge stronger. These leaders understand what psychologists call anti-fragility, the ability to grow stronger from stressors.